In today's session, we're going to be taking a look at working with null values and joining tables where there may be data missing from one table into the next table that links the two tables together. We'll continue to work with our Chinook database. Let's go ahead and use the Chinook database to make sure that MySQL has the correct focus. And select the track table. We're going to use this table because I notice in the composer column that there are, along with composers that are populated, I also see quite a few records where the composer value is null. And it is these null values that we're going to focus on for the remainder of this exercise. To understand why we're talking about null values, it's important to look at how null values are handled in SQL. A null value is considered to be indeterminate, meaning I can't use comparison operators like equal to, larger than, smaller than, or not equal to. If I ask SQL, does a null value equal some defined value, it'll come back and say, I don't know. It's indeterminate. We need to look at other operators such as is null, is not null, in order to be able to evaluate null values. Keep in mind as we go through this exercise that a null value is not blank, not zero, and is not false. It only answers the question, I don't know what this value is. Notice in the result window where I've done a select is null that it's returning all of the items where the composer is null. And now we're selecting composers where the value is not null. And notice that each composer in the set that gets returned has a name that's already defined. Let's look again from our track table all records where the composer is AC/DC. And we'll see the rows that got returned from that query. Now we're going to change our query a little bit, and we're going to select from track where composer is not equal to AC/DC. And go ahead and hit the execute. Notice now that the list that we get returned has the rest of my composers that do not equal AC/DC. But what I notice that's absent from my result set is there are no null values, meaning that SQL skipped the null values and returned everything not equal to AC/DC. We're going to change our query one more time. This time, we're going to select star from track where is null composer NA not equal to AC/DC. What we're doing is we're telling SQL if it finds a null value, substitute NA for the null and execute my logic. We see now that the result set includes the null values along with anything else that evaluated as true. This is an important SQL concept, working with nulls when we know that they are present in our data sets. We need to handle those cases and make sure that our comparison operators take into account the fact that it may find a null value. In Module 4, we'll be looking a little deeper into nulls and how to handle them in SQL Select queries. This concludes this exercise. Thank you.